watching Griffon Sports Insider, presented by Spine and Sport Physical Therapy. Now, here are your hosts, Brett Easley and Ryan Menley.
Hello and welcome to another week of GSI, and as always, another jam-packed show this week, including getting our Zumba on and how physical assault leads to W's.
Oh, we'll delve more into that later on, but first we begin with basketball. This a must-win week for the Missouri Western men. They sit 1-8 in the MIAA conference and have lost 6 straight. A rough week last week, which saw the Griffons' best and worst offensive performances in back-to-back games. The Griffons dropped an 87-86 overtime home heartbreaker last Wednesday to Truman State. Western got 22 points and 10 rebounds from TJ Johnson and 21 from James Harris, and a season-high offensive output. The defense just wasn't there. Next game, an opposite story.
Saturday, Tom Smith back in his old stomping grounds of Warrensburg as Griffons taking on Central Missouri. Western had an early 14-7 lead, but then went ice cold. The Griffs went 5 minutes without scoring, allowing Central to go on a 20-1 run. Mules would take a 35-23 lead at halftime. Second half down 16. Smith trying to rally the troops. The troops did make a run. Alex Taluka, Mfumu Pembe, the MIAA's three-point field goal percentage leader, his only 3 of the day here. Next trip down, James Harris. One of the Griffs' top scorers, didn't score a point today, but Levante Douglas cleans it up. He had a team-high 14 points, 5 rebounds. Griffs within 10, but then Central answers. Alex Dean, the big dunk on the other end. The Mules pull away and go on to win 64-48. The Griffons held to their lowest point total of the season. They've now lost 6 in a row.
Man, it's frustrating to get that high and can't get over the hump. It's just real frustrating. We're going to keep our heads up and keep working.
And joining us now is head men's basketball coach Tom Smith. Coach, before the year, if somebody would have told you you'd be 1-8 in the conference with your only win in the conference, being over the #1 team in the nation, what would you have said?
I'd have said that's a little screwed up, I think. I don't know. I've never been 1-8 in the league. In 24 years, we've never been 1-8, and so it's unfamiliar territory for us right now. And again, as I mentioned, without Dylan France, we have not been as good a basketball team.
This is always a legitimate question to ask when you're struggling like you are. How do you keep from losing the team? But I can almost answer that. Those guys are still out there playing hard. It's one of the darndest things you'd ever see, because your kids are coming to play every night. It seems like they're just nothing's falling right for them.
Yeah, I don't think you hear them talking about woe is us and poor us. I think that they know as much as anything else that we know we need to turn this around. But again, I cannot complain about the effort. I think they've come every day, and I think anytime you continue at this time of the season to work hard, I think sooner or later you're going to get some benefit out of it.
There's always something to look forward to. You're on the road to Bolivar Tuesday, so you wipe everything that's happened. Southwest Baptist 10-8 overall, 3-6 in the conference. Now they lead the MIAA in three-pointers made and attempted, maybe near the top of the nation. In fact, they have attempted 526 threes on the year. That is 240 more than any other MIAA team. I guess you know what you're getting into.
Well, there's no question. And I saw a game earlier where they played Washburn, and the game's going along, and Washburn makes a run and I think cuts it to 1. And as you're watching the game, you say to yourself, the momentum of this game has completely changed. Washburn's going to go on. And within a minute and a half, Washburn was down 12 again. I think they'd hit 3 or 4 threes in a row, just no conscience or anything else. So it's a case of, I think my old saying about it's not who you play, it's when you play them. And this is one of those games that just reeks of us going in and zoning them, because everyone, when I played
you count on one hand how many times you've done that.
You did that a little Saturday, did you not?
I know, I did do a little
bit.
Saturday.
I didn't know if you'd admit to that or not.
But sometimes, when I first started in this profession, and everyone's heard the Gene Bartow story, who passed away last week. But Coach Bartow used to say sometimes the best time to zone is at the other guy's home when they're a great shooting team. And it doesn't sound like it makes sense, but sometimes that's the best time to zone. So I think the main thing with us is we're going to have to keep them from penetrating, because not only do they have the outside, they do have a little inside game too.
Well, 11 games to go in this season, and clearly the goal right now, get to Kansas City. And it's shown in the past, and we've been that team. If you can get in, you can be dangerous. In your mind, what is the target number of wins you have to get to be able to get to Kansas City?
Well, we started the year with 8. That was what I thought. since we're 1-8 right now, I'm going to lower the number. I think it may be lower as I look at it right now. Leaders of the league will probably have 3 losses after the first round. The people on top of the league.
Almost unprecedented.
I've never remembered that. Okay, and so I think that'll trickle down a little bit more, where the bottom part of the league may have not have to have quite as many. I'm saying probably 7. I think 7 will give you a chance to get in it.
Saturday, back home, second round of the MIAA Conference. Tilt starts with Pittsburgh State. You went there and lost in the MIAA season opener. You get the Gorillas back home Saturday. Just talk a little bit about that matchup. I
think that's a key. That's obviously a key game for us. I mean, we have to learn. And one of the things I think that is overlooked in all this as we talk about this is that it's very, very difficult, I think, for our kids to be on campus without any of the students. I think with the Friends coming back, I think you'll see a different team on Saturday than we saw at home in some of those games that we lost.
Okay, Coach Smith, you don't have any questions for me this week, do you? Nick needs to know preempted Easley's tantalizing 2 last week. So, nevertheless, Easley's tantalizing 2 returns, and believe it or not, pretty good questions this week, if you can believe that. This kind of applies to all sports, but especially NFL in the spirit of the playoffs. It used to be the stout defenses always won, and now it almost seems like high-powered offenses have taken over the NFL. If you could have either one, high-powered offense or stout defense, which would you take?
High-powered offense.
High-powered offense, he says. I think I would agree with that.
More fun for everybody.
Yeah, I agree.
A lot of folks don't know this, but you're a pretty good dancer. If you're at a wedding reception, let's just play scenarios. And what song are you waiting for to come on to go on the dance floor?
Shania Twain's From This Moment On.
From This Moment, he says. Okay, there you go. One of the answer I was looking for,
come out of your mouth.
But nevertheless.
Wedding song.
Okay. It is a wedding song,
all right.
Yes.
There you go.
And I played that. There you go.
We can let that slide.
Special wedding song.
Let's get back on the winning track this week.
Right,
Good luck in Bolivar
guys.
Tuesday. They're at Pitt, at home against Pitt on Saturday. We'll be right back.
All right, guys, I think we're ready to go.
The Griffins meet Pitt State this Saturday afternoon in the Fieldhouse. 1:30 for the women, 3:30 for the men. Go Griffs.
Why can't you be more like that?
Why can't you dunk like that?
The most helpful physical therapist in the world on neck pain.
I can fix it.
Spine and Sport. Stay healthy, my friends.
She takes headaches away with her bare hands. Men run thousands of miles for her without ever leaving the room. She once helped a woman avoid carpal tunnel surgery by serving up drinks with a twist. She is the most helpful physical therapist in the world.
I don't always go to physical therapy, but when I do, I prefer Spine and Sport.
After that disastrous 0-5 start in the MIAA, the Western women are back on track. The Griffins completed a 65-64 comeback win over Truman last Wednesday to capture their 3rd straight victory. Welcome back. It took a few months, but the Western women are now at full power.
The Griffins now possess arguably the best 1-2 punch in the MIAA. That's after the return of a familiar face who comes back to the Griffin lineup for the first time since 2007. And Ashley Curry hasn't skipped a beat.
Saturday, Griffins trying for 4 in a row. That's Ashley Curry playing in her first game in 5 years, taking on her former Western coach and the Griffins' last 2 head coaches, Josh Keister, Dave Slifer, and Central Missouri. The Griffs down 10-0 in the first 4 minutes when Curry checks in. The show begins. This is her first shot since 2007. It's all net. Later off the nice beat from Cook. Curry 7 points in the first half. Griffs go on an 18-4 run. Curry to Callie Schoonover, back out to Cook for three. Western would take the lead but go cold in the final 7 minutes. They'd go to the breakdown 32-22. Jennies would expand their lead out of the locker room. Saritha Brown, 3-ball, makes it a 15-point Central lead. But then the Cook and Curry show find their audience and absolutely take over. The duo combined for 42 of Western's 45 second-half points. Curry dropped in 25 on 10 of 20 shooting. Cook overcame a slow start to drop 29 points on 7 of 19 shooting. Western would come all the way back to tie the game late, but the final minute knotted at 65. Taylor Hansen of Central nails the three. That's the difference. Western falls in Warrensburg 72-67 the final. They also lose Alicia Bear-Bell in the final seconds to a knee injury, the severity unknown. The Griffons' winning streak is snapped, but look out MIAA. The Cook and Curry duo are only going to get more dangerous.
She's a great player, and she's really hard to guard, and teams aren't going to know what to do. You know, she just is a raw basketball player, and you know that adds so many dimensions to this team.
I feel great. I feel like I haven't lost nothing. Like I thought I was going to be like too nervous, not going to score or nothing like that, but it's just the same as when I won playing 5 years ago. But I just enjoyed it.
And joining us right now is women's head coach Lynn Plett. Good win on Wednesday, tough loss on Saturday, but you get a big weapon back, and that's the first thing we want to ask. Your thoughts on Ashley Curry's performance?
Did not disappoint. Would probably be the best way to summarize her initial return. All in all, she played, I thought, very well, shot the ball well, demonstrated the quickness and speed that she has and the versatility that she has. So it's a great addition. If you're going to add somebody to a roster, that's a good person to add.
Well, and you said it. You know, people associate Ashley Curry with scoring, and certainly she can score, no doubt about that. But her versatility, and one thing that people didn't talk much about that game, one thing we did that we hadn't done in a long, long time, we had more assists and turnovers, and we only turned it over 7 times. And I think a byproduct of that, she has the ball in her hands a lot.
I think that's we want to do that. We want to get into transition, and I think that's when you start. We saw her score. We saw her do a lot of things, but I think when we get into the open court and running some breaks and getting all 94 feet involved in the game, you'll see her even contribute even more more variable ways by passing and creating some offense in the open court too.
Get an injury update. 2 of your big 3 hurt Saturday. Brittany Griswold, injured foot, leaves early, never comes back. Bear-Bell at the end of the game goes off with an apparent knee injury, and she's torn both of her ACLs before. Just an update on those 2.
Yeah, I think Saturday we went to the training room. Sunday after the game, and Alicia was walking much better than she did off the floor into Saturday's game. So that was really encouraging. And Myron, our athletic trainer, was very optimistic yesterday. It looks like it's probably a hyperextension, which isn't as serious as it could have been. So whether she'll be able to play against Southwest Baptist, we're not sure. And Brittany Griswold is probably a little bit more suspect with her foot injury that she has. It's just one of those chronic things that just really bothers her. If anybody's had any kind of foot injury in the past, you know you can't do much with your foot bothering you on the basketball floor. So she's in question at this point.
Well, in the final round of the MIAA, first time through, closes at Southwest Baptist. They are a 1-win team, but you've seen them on film. They're a little bit better. And then Saturday in the Fieldhouse, the second round gets going by, oh, by the way, the 10th ranked team in the country in Pittsburgh State. Talk about the week ahead.
Yeah, it's definitely there's no reason for us to look ahead. We, at this stage and in our current situation, we have to continue to win and beat the teams who are below us, and that, for whatever reason, is Southwest Baptist is one of those teams. So we cannot afford to give a game away to a team that's below us if we want to get into the conference tournament, which is really our ultimate goal right now. And what we need to do is consistently push the ball up the court, I think, a little bit more. I think with Ashley and with Bear and Jess on the floor at the same time, we have some added quickness on the team, which maybe we can force some turnovers. And as you mentioned, the other side of it is she takes care of the ball pretty well too. And so if we can create more turnovers by our opponents, get a few more offensive rebounds, and get more shots up, that's the key for us, because we just don't shoot the ball very well. So we have to get more field goal attempts than our opponents do to be successful.
Okay, Lynn, Easley's tantalizing too. You don't have any questions for me this week, do you? In the spirit of Nick Needs to Know. I like those, by the way. Well, and actually, I've stolen one of these because I thought it was a pretty good question, and I'm curious. And I'm going to guess you're not a big karaoke star. I don't know what gave that away. But if it was a life or death situation and you had to get up in front of a crowd and sing a karaoke song, what are you picking out? What's it going to be?
Boy, that's a tough
Why
one.
would I guess he wouldn't be a karaoke star?
Yeah,
That's a stereotype. I shouldn't have done that.
It's a pretty
folks.
accurate guess,
Wow,
I'd say.
okay.
So. Actually, it might be one of the Cool in the Gangs type
Celebration.
songs. Celebration.
Well, there you go. Cool in the Gang. I like that.
Tonight.
And finally, it's in the spirit of the NFL playoffs. When I finished watching Green Bay in New York, I said, golly, Aaron Rodgers looks like he hadn't played in about 3 weeks. Well, he hadn't played in 3 weeks because there you go. They got it wrapped up. They rest players at the end of the year. They have a bye and they look rusty. You're in that situation. Are you resting your players so they don't get hurt and get some other players in? Or are you just playing it right on through? Play how you played all year long. What are you doing in that situation?
I'm old school. Remember when Indianapolis did that a few years ago, and I've been old school from the standpoint. Every game's a game, and you play every game to win, and you put your best players on the floor to try to win a ball game, even if it's you don't want the teams that are at the bottom that don't have a chance to get into playoffs to rest their people. I think you need to play every game as if it's your last game.
Coach Lynn Platt, good luck in Bolivar on Tuesday, and we'll see you back home against Pittsburgh on Saturday.
Right.
That's Lynn Platt. We'll be right back.
The most helpful physical therapist in the world on breathing.
That's a deep subject. Deep breathing, that is. Stay healthy, my friends.
The most helpful physical therapists in the world on dodgeball.
You'll never know when three-dimensional flexibility will come in handy. Stay healthy, my friends.
Hi, I'm Jessica Cook. And this is Cook's Corner. The first part of the season, we couldn't find a win. You know, we were struggling. We were trying to look for a way to just get one win. Coach wanted us every day to fight hard, be more aggressive. So we looked to the sideline in practice and we saw our manager, Tom. We thought, hey, why not take out the aggression on him? And so we did. You know, he's just a guy that you look at him and you just naturally want to beat him up.
Let's go, power dribble! Dribble hard, go! Keep going! Come on, scoot over, go around me, do something! Come on!
You know, we punched him, we kicked him, and it ended up helping us out. And now, it's the new year, and we're undefeated. Go to sleep. Go to sleep, Tom. Just go to sleep, Tom. Go to sleep. And that's how we break a losing streak in Cook's Corner. Good practice, baby. Good practice.
Welcome back. That's one way to get your confidence back, Brett Easley. Beat the heck out of your team manager.
So does that mean if our confidence gets down, we could just wrestle on the set?
Yes, I can just
we might need to do that.
I'll feel better.
Throw the lights and the umbrellas and all over the place here.
Thanks to Jessica Cook for that in-depth report. Meanwhile, Missouri Western tries to reclaim a Guinness World Record this weekend.
Well, Zumba takes over the Griffon Indoor Sports Complex. Don't miss the second annual Zumba in the Roomba. It's presented by Drury Hotels and Blue Cross Blue Shield of Kansas City. We need all dancers on deck for the event. Western set a world record for the largest continuous 1-hour Zumba class last year. The record, well, all good records are meant to be broken. This one has, so we're out to reclaim it. This is open to anyone who wants to come out. Cost is a $10 minimum donation, and all proceeds benefit the YWCA Choices program and women's athletics at Missouri Western. You don't have to be in great physical shape to come out. You just want to have to come out, have a good time, and help out a good cause. Zumba in the Roomba this Saturday, January 21st. It begins at 10 a.m.
Meanwhile, behold the first signs of spring. How about this? Griffon baseball and softball teams officially began practice this week. Both teams coming off winning seasons in 2011, including a first-ever MIAA Conference Championship for softball. Expectations high for both teams in 2012. Both squads excited to get outside and get to work.
It's been good, and we were able to come out here for an hour and be able to hit outside and do a few things out here that we didn't anticipate being able to do. Usually there's a foot of snow on the ground.
I know for me personally, this is the most excited I've been for a baseball season yet.
The main thing is that I can speak for everybody when I say that we all love to be out here and playing ball. So
no, we're excited to be back. I think that the team has been working really hard in the off season, they tested well this morning, so at least we're able to spend most of our practice time on practice skills rather than trying to get them back in shape.
I think everyone's really excited and everyone wants to live up to the standards of last year and even be better than we were last year.
It's exciting, really nerve-wracking though. Just ready to get in there and play. Still have a lot of work to do for these next 3 weeks.
GSI back after this. Alrighty, we're here with Griffon basketball players Alex and Abby. Talk about a defensive drill for quickness. Reaction is so paramount in basketball, especially on the defensive side. To react. We've got a gadget here called the Z-ball. The Z-ball has many different shapes, sizes, oblong, so it's going to bounce in different ways. So we're going to show a drill with Alex and Abby. They're going to go out to the middle of the court. They're going to throw this Z-ball up in the air. When it's in the air, they got to spin around. When they come back down, they got to get that ball before it bounces twice. So as she comes around, we want her to get low so that loads the glutes and the hamstrings. You throw it up, you spin, you're a little bit dizzy. Your sense of vestibular system might be a little bit dizzy. But in this position, the glutes and the hamstrings have to react quickly, just like defensive basketball. You never know where that player is going to go. So as it comes up, you got to get it quick. So you're trying to get down low, get those cat-like instincts. Awesome job. As we want reaction, we want speed. That Z-ball is unpredictable. We don't know where it's going to go, and that's exactly like basketball playing defense. We want the hips to be down low so they can react quickly. That's training like the pros at Spine and Sport.
All right, guys, I think we're ready to go.
The Griffins meet Pitt State this Saturday afternoon in the Fieldhouse. 1:30 for the women, 3:30 for the men. Go Griffs.
Why can't you be more like that?
Why can't you dunk like that?
The most helpful physical therapist in the world on ACL rehab.
Enough said. Stay healthy, my friends.
I've known Marv for over a year now, and when he came into me, I can remember the day he came into me with his wife.
I have spinal stenosis as well as scoliosis. I underwent surgery about 2.5 years ago to relieve the pressure on my spinal cord.
That first day, Marv couldn't stand up. I physically lifted him onto a table, and we started rehab from ground one, from the beginning.
And the various devices that Spine and Sport has here has helped me.
They've just been so supportive.
Not only do the people here have the attitude and the positive spirit, they have the knowledge. We've been striving to overcome the deficiencies and getting me walking again.
That just meant the world. That was a reassurance that we're doing the right thing.
Welcome back. We finish out with the pick'em and first role play, Brett Easley. Let's just get right after it. Are you ready?
Let's dive right in. I'm ready.
Okay, you are
Roll up the
MLB
sleeves.
Commissioner Bud Seeley.
Wow.
You're already the second longest tenured commissioner in baseball history. You just got a contract extension, even though you turned a blind eye to the steroid era. You screwed with the All-Star game, and not many people like you. How do you continue to keep your job?
Well, I think it's simple, Ryan. Who wants my job? Whoever had it before me couldn't hold on to it. They got rid of Faye Vincent. I've been in office. I've done some good things. Don't harass me. I own the Milwaukee Brewers for years. I have a sense of what owners are thinking. I've kind of cleaned up drug testing a little bit. Now after you got caught, now we're at least gonna make you sit a few games. And again, who else wanted my job? So I'm in there for another couple years. I brought the All-Star game to Kansas City locally. I mean, my goodness, I ought to be a hit and the mang with local fans. I think I've done a pretty darn good job in my tenure as the commissioner.
You didn't bring the All-Star game to Kansas City.
I allowed it.
You allowed it.
I allowed it.
All right.
I allowed it.
Turn. My turn.
Ryan Menley, you are LeBron James. You said in an interview last week you can't relate to Tim Tebow. What do you mean by that?
Two things. Here's what I meant. Fans are sick of us. That's one thing. And we are both at our best in the fourth quarter of games. Oh, wait. No, we're not.
No,
I
we're
have
not.
no idea how I can relate. So, okay, let's get to the pick'em segment, Brett Easley. I'm not going to do my discount double check because Aaron Rodgers got beat.
His double check's over for one more year.
Yeah, so you get to keep it.
Yes, I like this.
4-1 last week.
Yeah.
1-4. It was
down to the
bad.
nitty-gritty of things.
Yeah, so you're really.
I'm doing well in the fourth quarter.
That does look good on you. Looks better on me.
Does
though.
well with gray and purple.
Yep. Let's get with the pick'em for this
Please.
week. MIAA men's basketball, Northwest at Missouri Southern on Wednesday. Two really good teams at the top.
Well, the winner's going to be in first place by themselves. Both of those teams have been good. We've obviously seen them both. I want to pick Northwest, but I think the home court advantage wins here. But I think this is an ugly, grinded-out defensive struggle. Southern doesn't play a lot of those. That style of play part fits Northwest, but I think Missouri Southern wins at home.
Give me Southern as well to hold home court. Fort Hays women at Emporia State on Wednesday.
I think Fort Hays State's a little bit better. I just can't convince myself they're going to go to White Auditorium and win. I think the Lady Hornets get it done.
I guess we'll agree on that, too. In the NFL, the AFC Championship, the Ravens at the Patriots this weekend.
You know, I developed one thing over the weekend that just reaffirmed it. I do not like the Baltimore Ravens. I think Joe Flacco's overrated. I think their defense is getting old. I just think they're an example of they know how to win. They're not winning this Sunday. New England wins, they go to the Super Bowl.
Nope, give me Brady to hold court there. NFC Championship, the Giants, who knocked off the Pack at San Francisco. Can they do it again?
Well, I tell you what, a lot of people didn't think New Orleans was going to beat San Francisco. I was one of them. I thought San Francisco was going to win. San Francisco wins this game, too. The Giants, their run is over. San Francisco and New England playing Super Bowl 45 in Indianapolis.
Nope, this is going to be about quarterbacks. The Giants have a better quarterback. The last name is Manning. Give me New York to go there.
Defense.
Huge Big 12 game Saturday for basketball. Number 9, Mizzou. Actually, number 5, Mizzou.
Number 5, Mizzou now. Come on.
Number 4, Baylor.
This is probably going to be one of those games where it's just they don't look like
You're a
number
Mizzou
5.
fan.
I am.
Pick 'em.
Can't do it. Baylor wins. They got too many guys. I think foul trouble reigns in this game. I'm not a Perry Jones guy, but I just think Baylor wins at home. Mizzou doesn't have enough players to play with Baylor.
I'm going to pick Mizzou.
Wow!
I'm just going to get that vote.
You're really no, you're not. This looks good on me.
That is GSI for this
I hope you're
week.
right.
We'll see at home against Pittsburgh State.
Zumba and the Roomba.
Zumba and the Roomba Saturday, 10 a.m. A big day of Saturday.
It is a smorgasbord. Big day on Saturday. We'll see you out for Zumba. See you for Griffon basketball. As always, folks, go Griffs.
Go Griffs.